Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of Watch Out for AGI. This is a podcast of two engineers who are passionate about LLMs, models, AI in general. We started the pod because we had a common passion in discussing how we use AI in our flows. We are solopreneurs. We build a lot of products, and that has changed dramatically since the arrival of AI, LLMs, GPT, everything. My name is Remy. I am an engineer. I work with LLMs on a day-to-day basis. We both work in FANG with Mr. Emmerich here. I'm building an AI newsletter agent, which allows you to automate your newsletter generation. And theoretically, in the near future, you don't need to hire a newsletter writer. And Emmerich, another AI engineer.
Already super happy about that podcast. I also want to welcome all the new listeners. And me, I'm working at Google, working on multiple software supply chain subjects, and I'm focusing more on AI more recently. And I still remember these crazy discussions we had together in WeWorks to Remy. And I think now with this podcast, we're just continuing our passionate discussions about LLM and AI.
Well, it would have been only discussions if we didn't actually give ourselves value. And by value, I would be telling Emmerich, hey man, look, I would have done this in a year, 6 months, but I did it over the weekend. One example of that last week, I was discussing with GPT on what is the best tech to launch an open source IMAP server on my server. So I can just run a web server and ping it with APIs. That's something that in the past would have been super difficult to get done. With a few back and forths with GPT, cursor, installing everything, that was done in two days. So I called Emmerich. I said, "Hey, dude, I did it again. This is going to unblock my project. I'm going to be able to get it out." Emmerich himself, he's working on a. Do you want to give us a little press? I want you to focus on how long this would have taken you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and how long it's taken you so far.
Just shipping a new product at the beginning, you have to think about a lot of things, specifically if you have a back end and a front end. The front end, maybe you will use new technologies. Sometimes you will use new ways of generating. Most recently, I was generating voiceovers with local models as an example. And this, when you don't know anything about like the models and how to use it, it can be super long. You have like to wait 1 week to actually use it. And it's true that with Cursor, as an example, you can just ship something that will work and generate voiceovers for your video generation in like probably 1 hour. It's clearly like accelerating all my workflows usually. The same as you with your IMAP expertise now.
I'm an IMAP expert. At some point, I was looking at the logs of my calls and I copied and pasted to ChatGPT. I said, "What the heck are these logs? I have never seen anything like it." IMAP works in a very strange way. And apparently everything was good. He said, "Keep going. You're doing great, dude. You're doing great." So, yeah.
No, I just want to say also for like learning and education, if you just want to work how a LLM is built, I have to do it from I have new responsibilities at work and I have to learn faster than I would usually. And right now with LLMs, you can understand the concepts and find the best papers really fast. So even for learning to get more efficient and to become an actual expert, because we could make fun of it, like you are a vibe coder and you vibe coded something with IMAP. But I do think that you actually try to understand exactly how the protocol is working. And that right now for education, LLMs are amazing.
One thing that we do every week when we start a new podcast, we go over AI news. This is our killer feature here at this podcast. I've talked to a few of our listeners, and this is how they stay on top of AI news. I'm very happy to have helped people over the last weeks to know what's happening in the latest and greatest on AI. We cover models, we cover products, we cover news, sentiment. We go over the reviews that Twitter people are talking about, X users. At the end, we usually either debate, come up with a demo, like today, we'll get into that a bit later, or do a live coding session where we show you guys the best practices for X, Y, or Z. let's get into today's news from the AI world. Emmerich was saying that there's not too much. There is a lot going on. The first piece of news that we have is dropped a LLaMA 4 series. So this is a series. We had 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Just to give you guys a little background on the LLaMA 3s, those came out about more than 6 months ago, I believe. First came out LLaMA 3. LLaMA 3.1 had a 8B, 8 billion parameter model. LLaMA 3.2 was a massive model. I think it was a 70B. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, like you're completely right, Remy. For every release, they had multiple sizes, and it starts with 8B, 17B, 32B, 70B, and also a 400B.
They don't go in chronological order. They got, I think, the 3.1 and the 3.3 released, and then the 3.2 released.
Yeah, you can imagine it. The series existed from the beginning. The LLaMA 3 already had all the sizes, and then they do snapshots. They improving the model. That's what it happened. Like 3.1, like all the series improved. 3.2, all the series improved. So they were just like training the same model and publishing the new snapshots that were better through the time. Yeah.
Generally, naming has been a big
sucks.
problem for a lot of these companies. The fact that 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 don't have a set size or a chronological release order, it's already very complicated by itself. You need to go into the specs to understand what you're downloading. And even as a experienced person, I had a hard time downloading. Sometimes I went straight to the LLaMA, LLaMA terminal. What is it called again?
LLaMA?
The LLaMA terminal, and started downloading. You just type in LLaMA run LLaMA 3.2 latest. Shit, that's the one that's 500 gigs. No, it's like 100 gigabytes. And then you cancel it because you are like, I made a mistake. To Meta LLaMA 4. That was a bit of a context on what came before. They are going straight on to this naming problem that they had, trying to make people understand size here. So 3 models came out: the LLaMA 4 Scout, LLaMA 4 Maverick, and LLaMA 4 Behemoth. You can imagine that Scout is smaller than Maverick, and Maverick is smaller than Behemoth. And that is exactly what it is. LLaMA 4 Scout is a lightweight multimodal model optimized for quick responses across text, images, and basic reasoning tasks. It's designed for broad accessibility and efficiency, available now on all the Meta AI platforms. Emmerich, I think that it's available in Instagram and all of the UI at Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that Facebook is really trying to push like a Meta AID app. I know that they're trying to compete with what exists. So I would say like the incontestable leader right now is ChatGPT and like OpenAI. And then you have like other things like DeepSeek was really good. Now Google is really trying to push with Gemini. I know Facebook is trying to, but they are really incredibly liked on the open source scene. But like your mom and pop, they won't use Meta AI.
There was a video that came out on Twitter and on Insta, I believe, I think it's also on their website, on how this Scout model is used. It has a massive context. We're talking about 10
million, yeah. It's huge, but like for now we will stay cautious because we haven't seen any like benchmark of this long context.
Just for you guys to know, if you still don't know how big a context window is, Claude is 200,000, Google's around that 200,000. 10 million is massive. That is about 5 million words. We can go into tokenization in another pod, but 5 million words is a few books you can put into there, quite a few. And I saw a video that was talking about how this is used. Let's say that you put a few books into a PDF and you put it into this model. You can ask it with a semantic search, like, what paragraph talks about the history of this vaccine, and give me 3 references. So you're able to go through massive amounts of context and narrow down onto areas and maybe have a little bit of reasoning and thinking into that. So very promising, I think, for local usage. However, it is massive, and it currently won't fit on your local storage.
I just want to talk about a benchmark that I saw that I think is really interesting, because when you think about long context, you think like you have like, I don't know, 5 books and you want this quote from Gandhi that was talked about at the second book. So it's a needle in a haystack problem. This is the thing everyone talks about the long context. But I saw another like benchmark that was actually super interesting. It was using an information to answer a question that was in another book and that was like actually referring to another book. And here it really shows that the long context is not just about needle in a haystack, but like be able to reason through a bunch of information. Like being able to reason through a bunch of information is super useful, and it's super useful for code. Because if you just give all your code base, it's really important to know that in the backend, I don't know, you're using this technology to justify your choice for the front end, and etc. and etc. Long context goes way further than needle in a haystack.
Long contexts are indeed super important when it comes to keeping things in mind when coding. Even as a human, you remember that you had a file that dealt with this. There's so many ways that Cursor can use these large contexts to query general knowledge on the code base before making decisions, which is right now my biggest problem with Claude in the Cursor environment. Is very smart on small projects. It starts to recreate files that already exist, recreate services, because it doesn't query, hey, is there something that that exists like this already in the code base? I think that there's a lot to do here with these large contexts, for sure. Just to finish up on the LLaMA 4 side, Maverick is a step up. This model handles more complex multimodal inputs and exceeds in creative tasks like generating detailed text, analyzing mixed data. It's also live for public use. And then the big model that LLaMA 4 came out with, Behemoth, sounds huge. It is still in training, so that's probably not out yet. It's Meta's flagship model, probably going to be running on their servers. It's boasting an unprecedented scale at reasoning capabilities, and it is positioned as a teacher model to distill knowledge into smaller models. Do you have any knowledge on how that works, Emric?
I heard of it. I haven't read the paper, but I heard that you could either use a bigger model to actually learn and distill information to the smaller model. That's a way pretty much to be able to distill the model to make it still good. So when you have a really smart model, you can use it to like teach the students and like without giving them too much context. So you don't have to load in their mind too much context, too much data, but they would still understand the idea behind. But I would need to read the papers a bit more.
Yeah. So you said earlier that you saw a bit of the benchmarking on these models. It's pretty new, so we're going to get a few in the next days to come. So probably by the next podcast, we'll have some benchmarks on this.
So the main benchmark right now, and it's the one that everyone looks usually, it's lmarena.ai. And if you look at lmarena.ai right now, LLaMA 4 Maverick, so the second biggest with 400B, is second. So it's a good way to understand it's not that bad. And then you can drill in the categories and understand if it's good or not. But it won't change that. If you use it, maybe you will like it or not. Depends on your usage.
Some more news here. Switching to Midjourney side. We haven't heard about Midjourney in a while. Midjourney came out with the V7 image model on April 4th. It's a significant upgrade to its text-to-image generation capabilities. The key features are enhanced coherence and detail in outputs, reducing artifacts common in prior versions, built-in personalization, adapting user style preferences based on past interactions, improved handling of complex prompts, rivaling OpenAI's recent image generation that we covered in our latest pod. Currently in alpha, V7 is being fine-tuned with weekly updates. Midjourney promises it's their most computationally intensive model yet. I gave that one a go just before we launched this podcast because we are going to get into a demo a bit later. And you're not able to use this V7 model in their relax mode where you're added to the queue. You have to use your credits immediately. So this is a computationally intensive load to ask from Midjourney. I guess that they're positioning themselves against ChatGPT's latest model because everybody was talking about it. It was a killer to, I mean, our last podcast episode was talking about how it would maybe kill Photoshop at some point. Midjourney is considered to be the product specialized in images. It has historically been better than ChatGPT. I would think that professionals use Midjourney much more. The niche creators are using Midjourney.
Yeah, I would compare probably Midjourney to Photoshop when ChatGPT for all would be Canva. Like you can really be more specific right now with Midjourney that you cannot do that much with ChatGPT.
Yes, and we will give that one a go in our demo to come. One last news point that came around this week, and it's going to be part of our demo, we're going to specialize it in this, is RunwayML's Gen-4, the latest AI video generation model from Runway. It's been making waves this week, and the key features of this model is consistency across scenes. We're seeing this in a lot of models. Consistency is the problem why creatives cannot use AI models in their day-to-day flows. This model has realistic motion and physics. It's designed to simulate real-world physics, allowing precise control over camera movements, dynamic video sequences, and includes regenerating elements from different angles while keeping them true to the original input. It is high fidelity and it offers production-ready video. So this one we're going to put to the test today. It's in competition. I would say you can compare it to a Kling 1.6 or a Google VO2. These are the models that are ahead of the game, as well as LLaMA and Pika. It's hard to stay. It's hard to stay ahead in this segment. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of AI video gen apps, a lot of models. It's really hard to test. On X, I've seen before people would put the same prompt in, and you also have Sora, by the way, and you have a grid of, 9, 10 different outputs, and they show you the different quality from the different models and consistency as well. Monitoring the 10 models, I can bet you guys that as a creator, you're not going to use the 10 models to decide. You're going to stick to 1, 2, maybe max. And so I think that a lot of these companies will be either eaten up or reduced into larger efforts. I don't know what you think, Emmerich. It's hard to stay ahead of the video AI world.
That's what's interesting is I see multiple categories being created in the different tools. And I was looking at Runway, and Runway is really trying to push themselves as like the way for like to recreate a Hollywood level movie with just AI. And they have 5 examples of small movies that are not long, like 2 minutes. But honestly, this is really impressive what you can do right now with AI. You could actually, I think, create real movies without actually hiring any animators. It's just about your ideas and your way of prompting. And I know that other models are specialized for other things. I know, as an example, that there are some like products that are more used for like corporate training. If you want to be trained about not doing insider trading in your company, you would use this model with like one person not moving. But here for consistency and like creating like real films, that's amazing. I'm really looking forward to your demo, Remy.
So today's demo is going to run 2 different products, and we're going to combine them together to create realistic, high quality video with, of course, photo as a extra, as a bonus. We will use the photo to create the video. We're doing photo to video generation and text to photo generation. So we're going to be using Midjourney as our image generation, and we will be using RunwayML's new Gen 4 for our video generation. This is all hyped up. This is the latest and greatest. We're talking about a combination of two products that have come out in the last 5 days.
5 days, yes. 5 days for Runway and 2 days for Midjourney.
So brand new. This is what you're going to be seeing all over the internet for the next few months, because I don't think that they will be coming out with new models, although Midjourney will be coming out with weekly updates. So if you haven't used Midjourney before, it looks like a feed here. You have some funny images of creators, that got likes, and I guess they come up here. It looks a lot like my old product, Sora Creators. It's a bit difficult to promote that product, so I put it a bit on the shelf. Oh, Emric, should we use one of these images as inspiration for our image? Should we use a style already?
Yeah, we could. I was just thinking, I don't know if you would like try to use for a use case of yours, like maybe for rent remote, like a visit of a condo, like a Barcelona condo or something. I don't know if you want to try this idea.
So maybe we do that as a bonus, because I would like to use both. And then I will run a very fast real usage of how a real estate company can use Runway as a video generation tool. Let's run with this image. I like it a lot because it doesn't have a face and it won't cause problems. I've had problems before where it says there is a face I cannot generate because there's some kind of moderation going on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's use this image to generate a new image from it. So let's say Roman soldier.
Can you also show the whole body? That would be interesting. Like asking in the prompt to show the whole body and not just like the torso.
Yes, let's just go with that, I guess. Also, what I'd like to do is going to ChatGPT and just boosting my prompt. I say, make this prompt more precise
Yeah, that's
for
a good idea.
a image generation.
I also think, to be honest, that Midjourney themselves are improving your prompt. So if you gave like the small sentence, I'm sure behind the scenes they are improving your prompt. Amazing. Good idea.
So that's a bit better, all right? And so we have an image that we're using as inspiration. We can use this guy's profile because he did generate this. He's probably got good taste. So you put in profile here. That's his. We can show that a bit later. So you can personalize it or check the settings here. We're just going to go with the landscape. Let's look at what. So the aspect ratio, it's important to maintain. We're going to do a 16:9. What do you think, Emric? 16 by
Yeah, keep it 16:9. Yeah. Such a great idea. I'm really not an expert of ratio, but 16:9 is nice.
We're going to use the version 7, like we just said, and run through with a new generation. Unlock your personalization. I don't want to. No, stop it.
What is
Okay, so
happening?
no, you have to say what you like, just start selecting things
Wow.
to train the model, I guess.
I mean, that's super interesting. They are trying to see what do you prefer as a person?
Yeah, it's personalization, but I want to skip this because I'll personalize later. I would like to run the 7, but I guess I can't, guys. Oh no. I'm gonna use 6.1. Okay, let's go. 6.1. We have 4 that are gonna be generated here.
Damn, I really love their UI, to be honest. They are really doing a great job. Like, so
Guys,
much good ideas.
I think I understood one thing, guys. We have to do one without personalization. I use this guy's profile, and that you cannot do with 7 yet until you do their onboarding, right? So this takes about 5 minutes. I don't have 5 minutes. Who has 5 minutes today? When there's so much AI.
It didn't like follow up on the full body, I think.
No, but it's okay. I mean, this is okay. Let's just download this one. All right. So here we are in our Gen 4. I have used Gen 3. This is my first time running Gen 4. And we're going to just drop our Roman soldier here.
I just find the original image being a bit, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I hope Runway will be able to do some miracles here.
So here we have something cool, is that it's asking us to describe, it's an optional thing to describe the scene, okay?
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, give me this one, give me this prompt that we had earlier for video. So give me indication of animation and camera movement. And then this is gonna give a cinematic shot of a Roman soldier walking towards
Perfect.
in full armor with the helmet, and the camera. Where is it talking about? The camera slowly tracks from a low angle, starting at the soldier's feet. No, not the soldier's feet. Not.
I just really like the idea of using a consistent LLM for like all your requests for these tools. So it's a good idea.
GPT kind of failed on us saying that it starts at the feet. It's not starting at the feet. So we got another prompt here. Camera tracks from left to right, soldier, medium, close up from waist. It looks like it's good. So let's just throw that into there. And the settings, we're just going to go
Yeah,
5 seconds.
with
Gen
it, yeah.
4, we're ready to go, guys. We've been waiting too long already. It'd be really cool if we could use API in our flows to not have to do this manually every single time.
The generation started fast, to be honest. It was not that long.
This is the moment where you sit back and drink a bit of your cold brew or whatever you do to maximize your concentration levels while prompting your LLMs.
I mean, I'm looking at the prompt, and at least you are describing how the camera should move, what it should show. I just think the original image was lacking a little bit of details, but we'll see. We'll see. It's actually super interesting to see like the full workflow from the beginning to the end. And what I would really interested to see if we can keep consistency. Like as an example, we create a scene, and if we could create another scene, like I don't know what they look at. Maybe they look at a city after. I don't know. Just super interesting to see how you can create movies.
Yeah, theoretically speaking, we can generate with this image. Let's take this image, for example. We can use this image and generate a Roman city.
That will be attacked by the, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe a French city, whatever city, a Greek city that will be attacked by the Romans. Yeah. And then we could like create like a small subset of like a story. It would be nice.
Guys, our generation has generated. Let's take a look. I'm super excited and at the same time scared. Wow, look at that. Look at that. What do you think?
It's really good. It's really good, honestly. Honestly, it's really good. And I just want to look at the prompt again. So did we follow up medium close-up framing, shallow depth of field? I think it's good. Golden hour lightning. Oh, the sun flares. But I think it just like followed up on the initial image. I won't lie, I find it amazing. And it's actually looking better than the original image.
Wow. Wow. And look at the blur. Look at the blur, guys. Do you know how much computational effort this would have taken to generate a real blur, lens blur? Those things take forever to generate. I think in when we're talking about video games, and they're usually calculated, but this is generated. Stable diffusion, right?
Oh, I actually don't know about RunwayML. I know that sometimes they use more and more auto-regressions, but I'm not so sure. Oh, so here the consistency and also like the place where the camera is, I don't know. I don't know how, if we will be able to transition correctly from one to another.
You can take this one, very strong. Okay, man, like, oh yeah, we're varying very strong here. Okay.
I'm wondering, can you come back on Runway and can you see if it's possible like to take that video and like create something after? Like as an example, we have the video, it's saved. And like, can you switch the prompt and say that the camera is turning slowly?
We can expand the video. We can do video to video.
Yeah,
we
it's
can
maybe
edit
a good
the
idea.
video. We can upscale it to 4K. If we want to do 4K, we can do that.
No, we don't need that.
So would you want to expand the video?
Yeah, let's click on it. What is happening if you do this? No, okay, that's not what we want. That's not what we want.
I
It's like
think,
for
well, let's do this for the TikTok sake of it, right?
okay, that's a good idea. I agree.
I don't know if we cannot expand it with Gen 4. We can only, guys, Turbo is also another one. You can do keyframes. So if you have the last image, you can run from one to the other one, right? And just create a flow from one to the other. Oh, look at this one. What do you think about this one, Eric?
Yeah, I think I think the idea is nice. What
Just
would
for
be
those who are
nice?
not looking at the screen, we're looking at a Roman looking at a city getting demolished. And I'm gonna take this one. And what about if I say, look, man, this would be cool actually if we could. What about if can we use this image? Use the image, remove blur. I'm gonna see if it is able to like remove the blur and keep the same image, right? That'd be cool. Man, these generations are taking a bit of time though, but
I'm actually mesmerized by what I see. I think it's really amazing. Like for all the creators, like you just get some credits and you can cook like there is no tomorrow. Wow.
my goodness
Is it like a Roman attacking New
Christ.
York City right now?
There's like a Roman with a bunch of Romans in Japan or something. It kind of, to be honest, it kind of fucked
We
up there.
lost it. We lost Midjourney here.
It kind of fucked up there. But I think I downloaded one, and we can let's say that we static camera, a person in the crowd, cinematic drone, close up. You can do all these things here. Handheld, low angle, slow motion. Is there something that you want to see here?
Yeah, I'm
Fast.
trying to see closer portrait because they really want to focus on like the person, and I would like to.
Let's try this cinematic drone.
Yeah,
I have no
probably. Yeah.
idea what that is. And here, let's take this image, let's download it, and let's run Gen 4. Because this is the turbo. The turbo runs really fast. So this one you can tell that this one sucks. Compared to the Gen 4 guys, Gen 3 Alpha Turbo, nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's way better now.
Okay, and let's get
Here what you can do is say that we have a new image and you want to make it consistent with the first prompt, and basically that the camera was following the Roman and then turning toward the city.
do one for this new image. Make it consistent with the first prompt, because this second image, the second video will come right after the first one in my movie.
You're perfect.
I have a really good idea, Emmerich. We're gonna post this on our Instagram, and
Yeah.
we're gonna say this is what was created during our live session. So let's run with Gen 4. Gen 4, man, for the moment, super impressed. Super impressed with Gen 4.
Honestly, yeah. It's really good, and I could see it like one shot be usable in a YouTube video at the very least.
If you spend enough credits, yeah. Because it's one-shotting is very difficult in video. One-shotting is very difficult. So while this one generates, because I do want to show you guys, I have one usage that is for real estate agents. So let's go to Rent Remote, which is a place where you can find furnished apartments for remote workers. And we have a lot of images on your workstation here. Let's go to a image of a workstation, and this by the way was generated with Runway. Let's just take one of our images and expand it into a video. What do you say?
Yeah, good idea.
I'm probably gonna go with a nice looking, I want to keep it simple, a simple looking room. I think this one is simple enough. Looks pretty nice. I'm going to save this to downloads, save the image. And I'm going to go back to we're going to keep this one for later. Okay, guys, don't worry, guys. So select my image, which is a WebP image. So it's super small. We're looking at a 16 by 9, and the image is not exactly 16 by 9, but perfect. And let's crop it into this set size. We're looking at a real estate image taken off a website. And we're going to animate this so that it gives the user a feel of what the apartment looks like when they walk in. I'm going to go to GPT. I'm going to do upload from computer, WebP, make a prompt for video generation.
Maybe you can do something even more crazy, like the person goes to the chair and move the chair to sit.
No, man, dude, I can tell you that that's not going to work.
You're underestimating RunwayML.
Dude, I'm telling you, already if we can get a walkthrough without candles disappearing, make a prompt for video generation of a walkthrough of this apartment. Describe the camera movements and describe the camera movements. What can I say, man? What can I say more than this? Let's put this real estate on pause and look at our Roman soldier video. Are you ready, Emmerich?
Yeah, it doesn't start well, but let's go.
Dude, this is literally the image that we put in.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. What do you think?
I mean, it's great because at least the concept that we wanted is respected. And also, I think I'm looking at this image and I don't see it as I don't see anything weird. Like we see people walking. I think it could be, it could work. It could work.
Man, this is pretty good. It's consistent. You have this guy, and then he's looking at. You're not giving this one what it deserves. This
And
guy.
also, you're comparing to the Gen 3 Alpha Turbo, but you should look at this one.
Yeah,
This one was way better, actually.
So look, dude. This guy is walking, and his soldiers are walking behind him. It flips to the next scene where he's looking at the whole army that is entering a city. Give this props. This could be a YouTube video on history.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
To teach young kids how Romans would enter cities and conquer. It could be used. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So let's go with our more less creative, more what do you call it? A technical use case that you can use today on your real estate website. I'm going to generate this Gen-4 real estate image in credit mode. So they have a credits mode, and they have another,
I think you spent like 200 credits for all your generation, and the turbo version was actually really cheap compared to the rest.
It'd be cool if they brought down the price of the turbo version. I'm telling you, I think that the creativity of the turbo version sucks. But it was good enough to generate real estate images that were really realistic. This would have worked well on the turbo version. If I do a turbo on the side, because the turbo is probably going to finish before.
This way we can compare the two models. That's amazing.
Look how fast this is. Much faster.
This is perfect for like an API call. Like
exactly.
an API call, you get it really fast, really snappy.
Exactly. All right, we got our first real estate video generated. And what I'm telling you guys is you can use this already. It's very cheap to run. This costs less than, it costs already 25 cents. On Rancher mode, we use this technique for a few, and this is a walkthrough. You can do also more still images saying, make the clouds move across or make the waves of the sea move. And it will be less of a generative experience. But this already, guys, it
Yeah,
ain't that
it's really
bad.
good.
Our other one, I want to be taken away. I want this Gen 4 to be 5 times better. I don't know what to expect. I mean, this looks like a video game in some way. This one, if it looks not like a video game, maybe it's worth the wait. It generated, so let's go ahead, guys. Let's take a look at this.
Okay, okay. Yeah, this is not 10 times better. It's not even 2 times better. It's okay.
It is better.
It's better. It's more fluid. Like you just have more frames also.
It's more creative, more imaginative.
Can you look at the
Consistency
TV?
is really good.
Can you compare with the bottom one? I think the reflection in the TV is more realistic.
On the,
I know it's like a super small details on the Gen 4. It's a little bit subtle, but it looks more realistic.
I can tell you guys that I like this Gen 4. It's just too long. The consistency is just much better. I feel like, consistency speaking, I've had a lot of trouble with Gen 3 Turbo in the past. I've had to rerun it. If you are going to do batches and if you're going to run Gen 3 over API, yeah, it's much better. This one's going to take a long time. It's going to be very costly. But if you're looking for more movie ready, and you have the credits and the time needed to generate a one shot, one piece, not a batch thing, this Gen 4 model is for you. I really like it. I'm impressed with both. I don't know what you think, Emmerich, about the general feeling of this. So guys, that was a quick demo on how to be creative and generate your videos for your content on Instagram. Let's say you're doing a narration and you're talking about Roman soldiers. That is what you could put in the background. You can put it in any format that you want, 16 by 9, 3 by 4, square, whatever you need. Generate it, put some sound behind it with Udio or whatever, and you have a full-on AI studio to generate whatever you need. We went over another use case that is more practical, real life images that we would like to animate, that is real estate. I think that we're going to see a lot of that in the future on real estate websites. I already know a few websites. Wander.com uses this technique to animate their videos. Instead of having a drone shot, all they have is an image and they generate the waves or the clouds in the back. Go check it out. Wander.com is an amazing website for UX. Just a little segue into Emmerich's product, which is, we're still waiting for Emmerich, right? When's the release date?
Yeah, I'm still working on it. Like, things are moving a lot at Google at work, so I was pretty busy for something else, but I'm still working on it. But me, I'm focusing more on like creating like the YouTube video you would look on YouTube, like something that is like learning new things. So here we saw how an Hollywood studio, I think, would create something, or even like a artistic agency would like make their model move with just a photo. I'm not sure what I'm doing with Red, which is the same segment of the market, but I was really amazed by what you demoed today.
Yeah, Red Witch should, when it comes out, you should definitely think about adding a modular API calls to Runway and make people pay, I don't know, maybe $100 per video would be profitable for you, for the creator, and for Runway. These models are definitely changing the way we create. I can't wait to see the first version of redwitch.com. You showed me a few pre-alpha demos where we were able to generate videos with a logic storytelling, a voice with subtitles, and you're able to learn a topic without someone reading script. It's all automatic and it has a whole pipeline. So I can't wait to see the first version. Right here are just inspiration to add more modules to your product. So
yeah.
if
This
you're
is, I just wanted to say what you can see here, we can create stock videos with like a fraction of the cost. Let's say you wanted to buy something on iStock for one usage for one of your video. Like you can generate a stock video super fast. You don't even need real stock videos. Even on my product right now, Runway could be super useful.
If you're an entrepreneur and you have in some way image in your product and it would make sense to run a video, just know that today the models are, you're 5 seconds away from having a generated video that has consistency. There are other models that have consistency as well, like Pika. So do play around with it. We did the first demo for you guys so that you can go and get a $16 per month subscription and just play around and buy credits if that actually brings value to you. Like we said, our podcast is about testing so that you don't need to test. You already know what to expect from these products and how to use them. If it sparks ideas while you listen and watch, that is why we're here. We have no affiliation with these products at all. We're actually using them in our flows. This was used for Rent Remote, and maybe in the future it will be used for Redwitch. So with that, today we have completed our agenda. We will be coming to you next week with another podcast. Every week we're getting on, and I'm super happy that we're keeping up, Emmerich. This is a wonderful moment of the week for me to discuss and brainstorm on everything that's coming out. With that, thank you everybody for listening to this podcast. This time around, I'm asking you guys to please subscribe, like, put a comment in, subscribe. It really helps for us. And the next week or the week after, we finally found our first interviewee who built a product for video generation. He built a cursor product. We're going to get into that. Thank you, everybody, for this week's listen, and see you in the next episode.